Hi, I'm Laura Calder. This is my husband Peter, and we're back answering questions from newsletter readers. If you'd like the newsletter, you can subscribe on lauracalder.com, and you can always send in questions here too if you'd like to be part of the conversation.
Here we are in the garden after a rainstorm. We're hoping that you might hear thunder, but the storm seems to have passed.
And we might have to get umbrellas. But anyway, for now we're fine. So, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to someone called Lisa, who sent in a recipe in response to the herb questions last time. I was asking, what do I do with all this curly parsley that I have? And she said, make parsley water, which I did. And you put a good bunch of parsley in water, cover it well, bring it to a boil, turn it off, cool it, strain it, and keep it in the fridge, and it is very refreshing.
It's really good, actually. It's surprisingly good. And it seems to have an effect on the kidneys, if I do say so myself. Kind of puts them into fourth gear, so which is good. That's got to be healthy.
Very
right?
healthy. And tasty. Yeah. Very good.
First question, the big question of the day comes from Ella Kuzmenko. It comes in two parts. First part, she says, I really want to know how you organize your kitchen. Do you have different zones for different activities and utensils?
I got him. How do I organize my kitchen? It depends on the kitchen. I've cooked in many, many kitchens, and a lot of them inadequate. So I'm very good at adapting. An ugly kitchen I always have to make a bit attractive, because otherwise I don't want to spend time in it. As for organizing, I love having things where I can reach them. So I like to have pots hanging by the stove so I can reach to the wall and put them down. I like to have wooden spoons where I can reach them. I like to have oil where I can add it to a pan, salt and pepper right there. Tasting spoons near the stove as well. We have a chopping area, and near the chopping area are knives, of course.
And the boards, and the chopping boards are right there too.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So it's I think just being logical about what you use. And if something really irritates you when you have to get it, it probably needs another home. I called a friend of mine who with her husband runs Scavellini, which is a kitchen design company. She said the triangle thing, you know how you're supposed to have fridge, stove, refrigerator in a triangle? They used to.
Fridge, stove, sink.
The fridge, stove, sink.
Yeah.
She said that's out now, and she prefers always to have sink and stove on the same side, because otherwise, if you're crossing a space between the two, you leave a trail. Or say you're blanching vegetables, you have to get to the sink, or you're taking something from a shopping place and walking over. You don't want to have a path that becomes like the Hansel and Gretel
specifically
crumb
the sink
trail.
between the sink and the stove, where you got a huge pot of boiling water, rather than having to walk the longest possible distance.
Exactly.
Which is what a triangle creates, is you have it right beside the stove, so you can take the pot off the stove and put the water into the sink.
The other thing she said, which was great, she said people used to always to store dishes high, and now that's out. People like to have them low in drawers, and especially if you're someone who has a dishwasher that you're unloading, you don't want to be going down into the dishwasher and up to the top shelf. It's better to go sort of on the same line.
Well, she likes drawers too. Those are good.
I like drawers too.
Drawers for plates.
And refrigerator drawers are great, but hardly anybody makes them.
Okay, the second part of this question is from Ella Kuzmenko, is what have you learned in France about organizing kitchen space?
In France, well, a lot of the kitchens are really small and not very well equipped in my experience.
Well, relative to a North American kitchen, they're not equipped the way a North American one is. What do you mean by not well equipped?
I just think people don't have more than they need, and sometimes they have not even as much as they think as they need, or that I think they need. But people don't have appliances they don't need. So, and they have few pots. It's not there's no room for the excess stuff, so people tend not to have it, in my experience.
They also have smaller fridges because they're more apt to shop every day, so the fridge takes way less space than the ones they do in North American kitchens, where they're the size of an old armoire. But,
it changes the way your kitchen is, changes your food, the way you are with food. You know, I used to shop that way all the time, more in the French way, but now during COVID I've been going every 2 weeks, so I've got this fridge I can't manage. It's always a mess. Though I did come up with one good idea for the fridge, which is a condiments drawer. I bought like a plastic thing, and I put all the condiments in it and shove it in like it's a drawer I made, I guess. And it just keeps them all in one place, because otherwise it's complete chaos.
Yeah.
So every once in a while I pull out the condiments drawer and pluck out things that have past their prime.
You do have your dream kitchen in mind, though. You've talked about it.
I do have a dream kitchen would be small. It would probably be U-shaped, definitely a pantry.
A walk-in pantry.
Walk-in
like
pantry.
A big cupboard that you can see everything. It's all on shelves. It's out. You
All
can
open,
see everything you
yeah.
have. None of this sort of digging around in cupboards.
And then
right?
a secondary pantry plus for dishes and sink and a washing up station. I would love to have that completely separate space for that. Something's flying overhead.
I think there's either thunder approaching or fighter jets. So
We gotta go.
We might have to run.
But please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Hope
Send in
to.
questions.
Hope to be back.
Yeah, it's not the fighter jets. Sign up for the newsletter on lordcalder.com as well, if you'd like. See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.